Well, hi, I'm here with Richard Schultz, and that's the name that you go by for your photography.
Yes, I mean, for the most part, I'll use Richard Leonard Schultz, my full name,
Oh yeah, that's
for a lot of it, because there are so many Richard Schultzes in town, and there are Richard Schultz photographers.
oh,
So I use my full name.
that's a great name, Richard Leonard Schultz.
They're
It's a strong name.
Named after my uncles, so it's a lineage name, which kind
Oh,
of
nice.
is special to me because
Yeah.
my one of my favorite uncles, and then my dad's favorite uncle is one named after.
Oh,
So,
very cool. And it's a good thing you like them too.
Yeah.
Because if they were like, actually we don't get along, that would be.
It would be much shorter. It would be a much shorter name.
Yeah. And do you go by Richard, the full name? Okay. So you do photography, and I want to know, because I feel like when I talk to you, you are like a true photographer. And no diss to anyone like who's newer in photography, but I feel like there's this unknown of the craft of photography and like printing and colors and so I want to know your history of photography. How long have you been doing it?
Well, just like a lot of us, it's one of those things where you've been a photographer your whole life. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, my dad would hand me the camera or whatever,
Yeah.
the Super 8 video, Super 8 film or 35. Just set them in my lap,
Yeah.
and you'd always, can I take a picture? And you take a picture, and then 2 weeks later you get a roll the film back, and you have no idea what you did or anything, that sort of thing. But I'd always found it super interesting, just kind of my background in the sciences and stuff, and my dad being a chemist and all that, and very analytical in particular, was
cool.
taught me about how photography works and all that stuff, and I was always interested in it. And over the years, I've always had cameras. I've always had access to cameras. So then, once I got once I finished college, is when I really kind of was messing with it a little bit more.
Oh, cool.
And then, I had always kind of got to the point where I was shooting landscapes, and that's really what got me into what I'm doing, is shooting landscape work.
Very cool. And did you start with film, or do you do film now?
Well, actually, I'm reverting back
Okay.
and excuse me. I'm also looking at other processes. I'm looking at possibly doing tintypes and
Oh, very cool.
possibly going to doing platinum palladium printing.
Cool.
Just because I just prefer the more analog methods that kind of
Yeah, I love it.
harkens back to what my style is.
So this is so fitting. I was watching randomly PBS, and they were airing the Mr. Rogers, and he went to a print lab to see how they printed his film. He took a bunch of pictures with the show and was like, now we're going to go find out how they develop it. And it was so cool. It's
Oh my
like
gosh.
they went into the dark room and they had all these industrial, like it was an industrial print lab,
Sure.
and it was so cool. It's just like, I wish life was like that still.
Yeah.
And I miss the dark room with the, going in there and having your own moment to like develop it and enlarge it and like make it your own. And anyways.
Well, a lot of that is taking a moment to be present, and that's just not something that's done anymore for the
Right.
most part. And it's speed. It's about how fast and about how one click edits and all this stuff. And it's
Yeah.
just like it's not where I'm at, right? So I appreciate all that stuff, and
Absolutely.
for every tool has its purpose in a lot of cases,
Yeah.
but for a lot of this stuff, it's much more. It's the deliberate nature of it that I'm attracted to.
Yeah, yeah. And I agree. I really enjoy that. And working in it, like, almost started losing the, if you do too much passion behind it. Because I remember just walking around my neighborhood with a film camera and taking a picture of these ducks, for instance, and I had 20 photos, and it's like always like very thoughtful of what I take a picture of, and it's more like this role means more to me, these 20 images, than having 300 shot and going through them, and now it's like, oh my god, stress, and the client wants it delivered now, and you have to go through, and it's like, it's just a different feeling, and I had to go through something with myself, really reflection, saying like, what's wrong with me? Do I not love photography anymore? It's like, no, I don't love the work and the process and the throwing away pictures and then storing them, and then, okay, yeah, it's
Well,
just, yeah.
Exactly, and you know, that it's that old adage where it's, you know, you have a roll of film, how many good pictures are on that roll? 3.
Yeah.
You have a roll of 36, how many good pictures are on it? 3.
Yeah.
You have a card that has 1,200 images on it, how many good pictures are there? 3.
Yeah, right?
So, I mean, it's that level of disposability and check, I think it kind of wrecks, I don't want to say wreck, it kind of reinforces a feedback loop of saying, oh boy, that, I can fix it in post.
Yeah.
I can take more and get the one and pick from one of them.
Yeah.
You're in the moment and present, but until you kind of isolate and distill yourself down. I mean, I still run into those situations where just how my shoots are kind of structured, they're really kind of free form.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's like, click, that's it, I
Yeah.
know it, that's the one. And sometimes it's just like, you know, you kind of lean into where your mental state is.
Yeah.
And find that. Because if you're trying, I mean, if you're working in a production environment where it's like, okay, I'm shooting this event and I know I got to get coverage and I'm blasting, you know, kind of holding the button down.
Yeah.
You know, there's a place for that because it's not a direct commute. You're watching.
Yeah.
You're not in an active visual communication with somebody and trying to create something like that. Yeah, there's tons of space.
And you do a lot of portraits.
Yes.
Do you enjoy that one-on-one with people, kind of like getting them in the right space, and what's your process with that?
Yeah, well, as you know, as a photographer now, I mean, I think a lot of my process harkens back to the way that I would do my landscape work.
Yeah.
Because my landscape work was kind of like, how do I get out of technology in a lot of cases? I come from technological background. You know, I was a chemist for years, and then I went back to school after that and became, you know, a web designer for 20 years.
Oh wow.
And then, but I was always shooting the whole time through that, and always printing the whole time, just, you know, for fun and learning, you know,
Yeah.
all these weird printers and all this stuff. But coming through that as I'm shooting landscapes and stuff, it's a meditative process for me.
Yeah.
It was my release to just like get my brain out of all this screens, right?
Yeah.
So it would be a sit down, set up in an area and just kind of take in 5 senses of what's happening and just let nature tell me when to press the button, not me. You know, I
Yeah.
would sit there for an hour and just like, that's why I do a lot of North Shore work and stuff like that. I would just sit in a spot and just take it in so I can recall it. That was kind of the thing. The moments that I'm taking are just kind of this feeling of all the things, and it's like, okay, I can take this now, and then I can sit back, and then when I go back and look at it, it's like vivid how the memory is of those spaces. So that's what's super special to me. So when using that within the portrait environment is creating a safe space for people to be who they are as they are. That's my phrase, who you are as you are.
That's so cool.
And in order to do that, I have to allow the person I'm working with and creating with to be able to just kind of let go. And sometimes it takes a little while, and sometimes that reaction can be kind of intense.
Mm-hmm.
But once they're there, it's like a communication between two people visually,
Yeah.
and that's what I'm looking for. You know, I'm not looking for, okay, I'm gonna take a blast bunch of pictures and then, you know, stick them, and then here, you select something, get out. No, it's like I'm trying to create that space where people can just feel and be who they are.
Yeah.
And then to try and distill that down and capture it is really the point. Because, you know, I want to create imagery that, you know, if you think of people's gallery walls in their houses, you know, it's kind of a dated thought process and all that.
Yeah.
But I do heirloom type work, right? So
Yep.
so my goal is to create an image that looks like it's 100 years old, but also 100 years in the future.
Cool.
So
Wow.
it can span generations and really isolate and tell who that person is just in a glance and see who that person is. So
Yeah.
that's kind of my process. And, you know, there's some weird science. There's science and there's some magic in there. You know, where it's just like if you hit it, you hit it, and sometimes you know you don't.
Yeah.
But you know, you always search for that, and you always, you know, if you approach that with honesty, with you know, an empathetic and patient eye, I feel that you can do that.
Yeah, patience, and I think too your personality, you're kind of disarming, allowing people to be themselves in their own space. I see that even here with my son Wilhelm. He's like, oh, I like this guy. He has good energy, and he's like not always comfortable around everybody. So yeah, it's a nice characteristic to have for somebody who's doing what you do.
Yeah, and I think that over the years, I mean, it wasn't always like that. I mean, you know how you're steeped in the environment you grew up in, right? So it's like, if I'm looking at where I'm from the standpoint visually, you know, I am Gen X through and through. You know, you grow up. I mean, I graduated like high school in 1990. You know, it's like I went to college, the peak of the grunge era. You know, it's like
That's
boom.
awesome,
You know, it's the greatest time ever to be alive, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But with that, you think of the imagery that we, as men, were brought up seeing,
Yeah.
right? Hypersexualized stuff, and just, you know, you always looked at, you know, the visual language you saw was not, and so it was not as open,
Yeah.
you know, and to overcome that, you know, I worked in retail at various places that had, I worked at Abercrombie.
Oh wow. Yeah.
Retail. So in the prime of that, like
Yeah.
in the end of the 2000s, you know, this type of imagery, you have all these, you know, like Guys Magazine, you know, whatever, your Maxims and all this stuff, you know, that are projecting this male gaze aspect to all this stuff, and to kind of rewire my visual brain to do that
Yeah.
has been a challenge, but now I feel that, you know, over years of practice, it's just one of those things that you grow and you change, and
Yeah.
you're a product of your environment. So I've tried to create an environment that is everyone is photogenic.
Yeah.
Everybody has a place to be. Everybody is beautiful. Everybody
Yeah.
can put forward. You know, you can work to create those environments where people feel comfortable, and because I felt uncomfortable
Yeah.
when I would, you know, you have to be able to have some empathy in this craft, you know, if you're trying to create that communication with people.
Yeah. And how do you, when you go into a portrait session, how do you get comfortable with the person? Say you haven't met them as a referral, and they want some portraits done. Maybe, let's just say they have a book that they're in and they want some like real, not headshot, just like, you know, nice portraits
Yeah.
of them. Not just headshots, but how would you approach that? How do you get to know people?
Well,
or get to feel their vibe?
My policy is that in order for me to be at my best, I need to be able to have my loose process to be fulfilled to do that, right? So like it's rare that I photograph somebody that I've never met,
Yeah.
or that I have not met purposely before.
Okay.
So I make that because it takes me a little time to understand their face
Yeah.
and to see like real reactions. The pressure of somebody coming into the studio with lights and the camera guy you don't know, and all this stuff going on, and you go, okay, now we're going to take some really heartfelt images, and it's like they revert back to, you know, there's points where your mother is going, well, I'm not projecting here or anything, but it's like, you better smile.
Oh, yeah, no, mothers do that
Do the
with
cheese,
kids.
because we're on a clock, and this is costing us money.
Yeah.
And you only have a couple shots, and that, you revert to that.
Yeah.
And it's like, how did I do that? And it's like, you get all rigid, and it's like,
Yeah.
So when I'm going to work on photographing, you know, I have like a pre-meeting whether it's on Zoom or whether it's in person. I like to meet people in person so they can get my vibe too, and they can feel comfortable with me, because that's ultimately what the position requires.
Yeah.
So when we do that, I just like to, you know, get a feel for what I like to find out what music they listen to. I like to find out what their style is, what their intention. You know, they all have visions in their head. They'll pull out images. Oh, I would love to have an image like this. Well, that's good to know, because I do guidelines, right?
Yeah.
I don't have a shoot list. I don't have these things. We just do it. We just come in and we'll talk. It's like, okay, I know that it's a high key image. I know that it's a darker image. I know that it's moody. I know that it's fun. Then I can kind of have my studio set up for that, and then we just.
Cool.
But, you know, then the first time somebody comes into the studio, the hurdle of trying to get around meeting me and me meeting them is kind of gone. They're more comfortable with the situation. It's just one less thing to have to worry about.
Yeah.
Because I find that usually, you know, that first hour, it's not great.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, sometimes right off the bat, boom, boom, boom. But once they finally understand the way that I approach things, and I shoot tethered, so there's a screen.
Oh, yeah.
I'll show them once we're warming up. Usually I'll just start clicking the camera.
Yeah.
And talking to people, because they hear the click, and then they're like, oh, you know, what am I supposed to do? It's like, don't even worry about that. Just be.
Yeah.
And once they get into that thing, then it's like there's a spot within the thing where where the trust is gained, and then it's like, okay, now it's time to go.
Yeah.
And usually we can really generate some interesting stuff and create some beautiful images. So that's kind of the process. It's really kind of loose, but I think that's kind of where my passion lies, because selfishly, I want to enjoy this.
Yeah. Yes.
I don't want to,
yeah.
I am flat out refusing for this to be a job.
Exactly.
This is a passion for, what I want to do after, a lifetime of corporate work and stuff like that. I'm done with that, right?
Yeah. And when I feel like if you treat it that way, the artwork comes out better, because you can see, like, doing photography is such an energy exchange.
Mm-hmm.
And if it's if it's just like, come in, do this job. And I think too, I had to, at a time in my life, when I was doing more work for people, I realized, like, oh, I have 2 hours to do this thing, and it started becoming really stressful. Like, oh no, like, what if it takes longer? What if it, how do you, it's like almost like, how do you put like a time limit on a shoot that's just organic and like natural and whatever happens? But do you go by, like, you have 1 hour, 2 hours, half hour? No. Okay.
No, I for me it's just like once we start shooting, we can shoot as long as you want.
Yeah.
I'm there. What
Mm-hmm.
difference does it make? I mean, if they feel comfortable, if they want to keep shooting, if they want to keep creating, let's do it. I have one person that I work with. It's like we're our own best and worst. Part of it's like, you want to keep going? It's like, yeah, let's keep going. And it's like 12 hours later.
Oh my
and
gosh.
we're just, it's like we're completely exhausted. But it's that sort of thing where some people can be done right away.
Mm-hmm.
And so, well, I mean, from that standpoint, for you, how do you, with your sessions, when you run into that situation, how does that how do you balance that when somebody's coming in, and
Yeah.
how do you loosen that up for people?
So when I do, I've now gotten to the point where I do like, I kind of in my head know how long something they want would take. And then I just say, oh, it sounds like about a 2-hour thing. We'll plan 2 hours, but I honestly don't look at the time. And I feel it out, and I'm like, and sometimes feel like, oh, I'm sorry, it's so late. I'm like, oh, is it? Like, I just kind of, but in my head, knowing what kind of shoot it is can kind of gauge on how much time to put aside. And I always plan on going later if that happens, because I don't want to cut people off and be like, you gotta go. But a lot of times people will cut off and say, oh, I gotta go, you know. So
well, there's a lot of ballparking, right? You just you kind of set the tone and set an idea, and then just, I mean, it's like, I'm not stacking 4 or 5 people. Well, I mean, I have done that, like in that project that I worked on.
Yeah.
That was pretty intense for me, because it's like, I always felt like sometimes I was leaving some shots on the table, because it's like, I've got to turn this around fast, and you know, it's not always easy when, you know, if you're dealing with language barriers, if you're dealing with, you know, age barriers, you know, age, you know, it can be a little bit challenging to kind of push somebody out when you have the next person coming in.
Yeah.
That, I mean, that's doable, and you know, and really it depends on what you're shooting it for. You know, are you doing personal branding, where it's like you're doing a book cover, or you're doing, you know, somebody's stuff for their speaking and stuff like that. It's a business, and those people come in and they realize this is a business.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, there's parameters.
Yeah.
Whereas, you know, if we're just doing like something for, you know, just like the first portrait that a man has had since high school.
Yeah.
Where, you know, if they're in my age group, you know, they really don't have anything. You know, they have, you know, backwards hat from high school, you have a fish or whatever. And you run into that situation where this might take a little bit of time, but we're doing this for your legacy, right? We're doing this for your children and grandchildren, not necessarily for you. So let's take the time and create something that your grandkids are going to go, holy crap, you know,
that's who that is. Yeah.
So, I mean, that might take a little more time, but, you know, in a lot of cases, that comes down to finishing too, you know, how you approach your editing and all that stuff. And I have kind of reverted on how that editing goes. I really don't edit that much anymore.
Yeah, you don't.
So, you know, I'll deal with a few flyaways that, I mean, I'm a blowing hair person. So if there's a mess, it's a mess, and that's fine.
That's how,
But if there's something with the fabric, I don't edit people's body shape. I don't. I don't remove scars. I don't. You know, if there's
that's who they are.
Yeah. And so many people come. You know, and if people come in, it's like, well, you know, the typical. Well, I want to look, you know, 40 pounds lighter, and I want to do this and that. It's like, that's not. It won't be a part of what I do.
Exactly. We're gonna pause. So we were talking about like editing and stuff, and I think too we have that in common. I also like things the way they are. I appreciate that. When I did wedding photography, I had like a workshop that I did, and they were talking about how to like take out all this stuff, and I was like, what about those who like just want everything to look like it should?
Yeah.
But yeah. So in the the knot? Are you familiar with the knot? Yeah.
Yes.
So they had this whole workshop on how to like remove all these backgrounds, and I was like, but I like all my I want to know that your aunt had a big iPad and was taking videos. And like, oh no, remove that. I'm like, no, I love it.
Yeah.
So it's an interesting that there's like a whole industry of people who just don't want it, you know, don't want their photos to be clean and pretty, and it's like, but that's not what it is. Don't you want to look at the history, like you said, and say, oh my gosh, Dad had a big scar on his face, or oh, you know, Grandma was standing in the very front being annoying, or something, you know, it's, Yeah,
well, I likened it to like beauty photography versus editorial fashion photography.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So I mean, it's like some people want that flawless thing that's you know, that hyper fantasy
Yeah.
whatever that is, and some people like prefer that more documentarian style of what you're doing, right?
Yeah.
And I kind of did both.
Okay.
So, and I shot it's like I shot 4 weddings, and I'll never shoot another.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like,
Yeah, it's a
not
lot.
something
It's a
that I
lot.
do. But doing the beauty aspect of it, that was from that language and lineage that I came from in the
Yeah.
90s, right? It's like flawless skin, poreless,
Oh, yeah.
flawless skin. Well, and that's what it is now. I mean, it's like people look like they're dipped in wax.
Well, yeah, it's like people, but they look like that on purpose.
Yeah.
Like that, and I'm not big on that. And I also, I mean, I was a very influenced kid in the 90s, like looking at magazines, and that's kind of where I started too, visualization. So I also can relate to like seeing photos as so perfect and sexy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And in places where it doesn't need to be.
Right. Right.
So,
Exactly.
I mean, and that's, that's always the thing. It's, and of course, I mean, the documentation of women being in that always never good enough type situation is obviously there, but it's also in the men too.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, well, that's a great way to sell underwear.
Yes.
It's like Marky Mark, I am not that guy.
Right.
So it's like unless you have like the perfect washboard and like a built out chest and everything and
Yeah.
your bicep game is on, it's like you're not good enough, but it's a different challenge for men than it is women, but it's still
Right.
of the same DNA,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
So and it's how do we sell stuff to people?
Exactly.
I mean, that's
Yeah.
that's what that visual language is. It's how do we.
And now do you think it's changing now in in advertising and?
Yeah. Well, yes and no.
Yeah, I say yes and no. We thought we are. I think we're trying to be like, no, we're changing, but
no,
I still see
it's
it.
coming back the other way.
Yeah, it's
think.
almost even worse now. I feel like.
Well, and I think a lot of that is influencer culture, stuff like
Yeah.
that. It's like, well, just like what gets chucked into your stream, right?
Right.
And you're looking at this is really for me. Yeah,
Yeah.
on my for me
Yeah.
area of whatever this is. It's like no.
Yeah.
But yes and no. I mean, some places have will lean into that everybody is everybody type aspect, and some people in some businesses just that's not their business. They're not selling those things.
Yeah.
But how that relays into imagery. You spend a lot of time. You're going to. I used to edit images down to whatever they used to be if I was doing something more beauty related or more fashion related.
Oh yeah.
Because really, it's about the clothes. It's about it's much more about the gesture and stuff like that in that editorial space. But if you're doing stuff like leaning more into a beauty space, it's like, okay, how can we edit this so there's no distractions from what we're selling? But some people like that. You edit your work and then they'll take it and put a filter on it.
Yeah.
And it's like that wasn't enough.
I know. Yeah.
It's like you're kind of shocked.
Isn't that crazy? Have you seen that? Like, oh, it drives me nuts. It drives
Or you take a picture of a child and they put filters.
I know. Children are the most beautiful creatures.
So
they have the best skin.
Yeah, and it's that sort of thing where I just kind of I'm at this point it's kind of repellent to me, and being honest with you, because it's like being comfortable in your skin is something that I've found that it's something that I've been able to provide to people. In the second that you see that somebody feels seen in the way that they want to be seen and like that, and you're able to capture that moment for them, it is like, it is addictive.
Yeah.
To be able to provide that for somebody and to watch like an emotional response from an image that's on a screen for what you've taken.
Yeah.
It's like it basically says that's what you're doing this for.
Yeah, and I guess that was my next question. What makes you want to keep going? And
Just that.
Yeah.
I mean, when you break through. I mean, because I work with people of all ages, people of all ethnicities, um, people of all orientations, everything across the board. And when you can find the right people that are looking for what you can provide, like on a natural to your core, and you partner to create. I mean, I'm not taking pictures of people in a zoo.
Right.
We are sitting down and creating something together. They are a part of what we're doing. They're not. Well, there are some people that say, "Well, I want to be photographed in this," and that's very much what they want.
Yeah.
But I think my best shoots are when people have a little creative spirit and are involved in that too, because then once they give a little bit and buy in, not financially, but buy in with their soul, and you can meet them at that spot and create an image that both of you look at. It's emotional for me too. I mean, you could probably tell. I mean, I'm really like kind of empathetic and really have things have changed with me emotionally through this process of becoming, working with portrait. I mean, I was much more blocked off and all this stuff, but now it's like I'm much more free with my emotions than I used to be ever. So I think if you want me at my best, if you want your best images, you want me at my best, and my best is going to be that guy that might just start crying in the middle of a shoot.
That's so cool.
Because it happens.
Yeah.
I mean, because when I see it, when I have something in my head, and then it's like, if we can create that, and the second I see it, it's just like, just like the wave just washes over you. And just something that was completely missing in my life.
I love that.
So now it's like the chase. To
feel that.
To feel that again.
It is almost like the runner's high of photography, and I've had that. Those moments are,
And you run into that situation where, okay, well, there also has to be a profit motive involved in this.
Yeah.
And and I'm not somebody that's providing digitals per se.
Right.
They're my glasses. But like I provide digitals with the package, but I'm a print photographer.
Yeah.
So my intention is not for you to take a thumb drive and nail it to your wall and say, look at these beautiful pictures.
Yeah.
That thumb drive gets lost in a drawer.
Right.
And nobody cares. It's the same thing with your phone. You have 10,000 images on your phone. Are there any of them that you're just keeping? It's just like a junkyard.
Yeah.
And it's like, are there ones that are special? Why? Let's distill the moment.
Yeah.
And say, this represents all of that, and I can touch that emotionally when I see it.
Yeah.
And other people can too. And that is, that's the piece of the puzzle that I'm looking for. I want people to be able to show the image that we've created. Because, you have that definition when somebody walks into a room, and if you are somebody that displays photos of yourself or your family or things like that, you want to set the tone in the room when somebody walks into a room. What is this room about? What does this room represent to me? If you go into my living room, you'll see pieces of art that represent the way I want to set the stage of the room, and people see that, and that this is the energy of the room.
Yeah.
So I want to be able to create that image that represents that person.
What kind of art do you hang on your walls?
Well, I have stuff all over the place. So what I've done is during COVID, what we were doing was we were doing portrait trades, or not portrait, but landscape trades.
Oh, cool.
So we would send boxes around and send it to the next photographer, just whatever image you wanted to give them, a print, and it would just go around the country. We send stuff around. So I have
around
a collection.
The country?
Yeah, because and then we would film an unboxing of the image and talk about the image. And,
but
just
how did
trying
you
to do
meet
that.
these people? These friends or
Just
these
all online. I've got a kind of a world community based on
Cool.
Portrait Masters, which is where I learned my posing and stuff from my mentor, Sue Bryce. Many people know her in the industry, but because of COVID, everybody was on Zoom, and everybody knows everybody on Zoom now. So then now I've got people on the West Coast, people on the East Coast, people in Japan, New Zealand, Australia, people from all Canada, all over the place. Right?
That's so cool.
So we were starting to do that, and so now I have other images of artists, of photographers that I know on there, and I do have kind of a growing collection of like vintage Japanese movie posters that are going up, that are starting to shuffle in and things like that. But I'm a failed minimalist, so I'm leaning into like a maximalist type situation where it's refined maximalism, I suppose you could call it.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny.
Because I've just given up. I can't minimize. I got too small of a house and too many cool things I want to look at, so now I'm just finding a way to just shove it everywhere.
That's awesome.
But yeah, I mean, but I do have a portrait of myself on the wall, which is kind of the first. Well, I'll call it the second, but the first one in my new era of portraits that self-portraits. So that's one of the things that I have kind of fallen into, is a lot of self-portraiture.
Cool.
And I've entered those for competitions and stuff like that. But for a lot of cases, I kind of approach that at times in my life when there has been a difficulty, or like my birthday or something like that. I normally try to take a self-portrait, just try to do that. And that one portrait that's on the wall that I printed up, I was going to be photographing like basically my first portrait session for somebody that was a friend of mine, but she couldn't make it. And I had torn my entire house. This was in my tiny, like 10 by 10 dining room. I had furniture like up on its edge, stuffed over in the corner. So I had cleared the space. I had lighting set up and literally 10 by 10 spot in my townhouse.
Oh my gosh.
And so I had everything set up, and then she said, I can't make it.
Oh.
And I mean, it like took me 2 hours to set that up. And I'm just going, oh my gosh, so crestfallen. So I sat there and I said, you know what? I think, when was the last time I had an actual photograph of myself? And it was like, seriously, I had not had like a lit photograph of any professional kind shot for me in 25 years.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, anything else was just like, here, I'm just, just a bunch of people from college, or something stupid here or there, And so I said, you know what, I'm just going to do it. So I went upstairs and I put a suit on and got all, cleaned up and everything, and I came back down and I just started messing around, because as I said, I shoot tethered so I can see what I'm doing, and I'm kind of messing around. I've got 2 speed lights in some smaller soft boxes, and I'm just on a tripod with a clicker.
Oh, cool.
And I took a couple shots, and I just said, okay, what do I, how do I want to come forward? How do I want people to read this? So I sat down and I just did it. I clicked the button and I went over and looked at it, and I just said, this is what I want to do the rest of my life. Just instantly right there.
That's so cool.
Because it was like, if I can make anybody feel the way that I felt, then this is it. This is what I want to do. And if I can do that for somebody, I mean, it's a true gift for not only them, but for me. That was a really important part of my life right there. I mean, I'm sorry. As I said, I tend to get a little emotional. I can get emotional at times when I'm thinking about this, because, I spent a lot of time in my life, struggling. I'm struggling with depression. I'm very open with that. That it's been something that I've, ever since I was a baby, or a little kid, people kind of like, something might not be right. So I spent a lot of time dealing with that, medication and stuff like that, try and to try and help me moderate that
Yeah.
chemical imbalance, basically.
Yeah.
And I got to the point where it's like you're kind of zombified for a long time, and the second you come out of it
Mm-hmm.
and you see the beauty that's around you,
Yeah.
and you just want to show that to people, and it's
Yeah.
like, that's what I've been, and that's why I do those meditative landscapes and stuff like that. I mean, I spent so much time not being able to see anything and not be able to elicit any
Wow.
joy or pleasure from those things. And now that, through a variety of methodologies, I'm able to touch that inside of me and recharge that, where I'm not just working for somebody else and doing these things that I'm not really connected to emotionally. But now when I found that, the second I shot that picture of myself,
Yeah.
it was like I can touch that, and it's like there's something there, and from there it's just been just like a kind of a rush, and that's like 10 years ago.
Wow.
So so I've been doing this for 10 years basically. Next year will be my 10th year in business, but I've been shooting portraits for 8 years.
Okay.
Right? But yeah, I mean, sorry, I'm kind of going off on a tangent and stuff, but
it's so interesting.
It's just like when you find the thing after you've been searching for it. Like, I mean, as I said, I've been in so many, 3 completely different industries in my life.
Yeah.
And the first 2, I mean, there were things I loved about it, but literally, I've heard the phrase like soul points. Like, I'm a Dungeons and Dragons guy, so when you think about that, it's like it's like your hit points, right?
Okay.
But when you get to 0,
Yeah.
you have nothing left to give,
Yeah.
and you're just a husk. You're
Yeah.
just there.
Yeah.
And I felt like that for decades,
Wow.
where it's like I'm giving out everything that I have, and I'm getting nothing back in return
Right.
of personal reward. But then it's like I started doing this, and I started taking these portraits or landscape images and stuff like that, and started printing them and selling them, and people were saying, "Oh my gosh, I love this."
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, okay, I'm glad that I can provide something that somebody enjoys. It. Oh my gosh, they want to hang it on their wall. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
I mean, that's an honor for me.
Yeah.
And then it's like, so I started filling up, and then all of a sudden it's like, okay, now I understand why. And so now it's like, you leave industries where, you're doing okay and all
Yeah.
this stuff, and then all of a sudden you're doing this art thing
Yeah.
where it's like, oh, you mean I actually have to like make money? And you're kind of in shock by that, right? It's
Yeah.
like I'm getting paid in a different way, so much more
Yeah.
than any financial one, but you got to keep the lights on.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
the balance of there is really tough.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's hard because it's something that you love and it's fulfilling so much, but then trying to monetize it and is the part where
You
it's
don't want to wreck it.
yeah, it's a balance, right? I would imagine. Yeah.
How does that work for you? How does that work for you?
I mean, I don't know. It's kind of sad, but I feel like for years, because I've been doing it for so long, that for years it's just kind of, I actually got really worn out, where I just started feeling like it was a job.
Yeah.
And I actually, weddings is when I kind of started feeling that way. And I remember I made a public post about it, about how empty I felt after a day of a wedding. And I'll share it with you sometime. But yeah, and then people were like, "Wow, you're with people all the time," and yet, because it was like at a point in my life where I was in my late 20s, and it was like, where's my family? And I was just me and my dog, and I just constantly was working for other people, and I was like, where was my love for photography? It was gone.
Mm-hmm.
My friends and family, I couldn't make it to their events because I was shooting weddings all
Every
weekends.
weekend.
Yes, and and then at the end of the day, they would come at me to try to get deals, and because you feel connected to them so emotionally and part of the family, and you're like, wait, that's not my family. I'm just a servant for them.
Now I'm just a people pleaser, and I'll give them basically everything at the cost of whatever it is.
Yeah.
To, it's just almost like just to get out of it.
Yeah.
What's gonna be the path to least friction?
Yeah.
I don't want the friction, so here's this. So it's like,
yeah,
I can feel it, right?
Yeah.
I can feel it right now. Just feeling it like puts a weight on my chest, and that's one of the reasons why I just don't shoot weapons.
Yeah, because it's very different.
It's intense.
Yeah, it's intense, and it's it takes art and makes it a business to a point where, and they want the same things that like everybody does. Where I was always doing creative things, and sometimes I would be like, why would you take that? Why would you take a picture of just my shirt? Why would you take it's like, oh my gosh, I'm like, it's art. It's like I'm not a cookie cutter. And yes, we do the pretty stuff and the things, but then in between I do creative stuff, and and then people would question my creativity, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is not fun.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's like, did you look at what my work looks like?
Right.
Why are you asking me to do this when you know the reason why you're hiring me is because this is what I'm showing you and this is what I do?
Yeah.
So, don't make me photograph people out of airplanes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's like,
cool, but it's not something I do, right? It's like, this is what I do. And so yeah, that's, it's super weird. And, coming across that when you're talking about where that financial aspect and where that crossover is that project that I did. Well, I did a project I got a grant from the state of Minnesota with my partner in Minnesota, Gijo, which is a Hmong language preservation and education platform that I've become really close with. They're actively trying to preserve the Hmong language. So by camps and by curriculum, stuff like that. So what we we put forward for the state was to create portraits of the elder women in the community in the Twin Cities here to tell their stories of their challenges and their victories, and for when they came to the country 50 years, because 25 was the 50th anniversary of the first wave of Hmong coming from Thailand to the United States.
Wait, say that 25, the 20.
Or 2025 was the
2025.
the 50th anniversary.
Oh, cool.
So the celebration for that. So our goal was to create these images, right? So we reached out to the community and found 38 elders from the community, and I had them. We had them come in with their fanciest clothes and photograph them with heirlooms. And for the most part, some people didn't have any that they brought or could find. Some people had some of the most amazing things and stories behind them. And so, excuse me, so we got that grant from the state to create those. And then we put in another grant to do the storytelling. Right? So we're going to do the photography, and then we're going to invite them back to do the storytelling aspect if we got the other grant.
Very
we
cool.
found out we didn't get the grant.
Oh no.
So it was like the day where we found out we didn't get the grant, we found out we were photographing a 102-year-old grandma who's a shaman, and another one of the elders was going through cancer, was going through chemotherapy, was going through chemo at the time.
Yeah.
So it's like I looked at my assistant, who I couldn't have done any of this without him, and just said, we're doing it anyways.
Yeah.
So we set up, makeshift whatever we could, and did like a half an hour of storytelling for each of the remaining people, and then we called people back in that we had already photographed. So we were able to get a collection of storytelling from that as well. So now we have kind of the website out there. It's ofdistance.com. That is out there, that has the storytelling aspect. We're still working on translations and transcriptions, because the ultimate goal is these are stories that we want people to use as curriculum in their high schools, any high school,
Oh, wow.
anywhere
Cool.
can use these assets to show not only the true universal immigrant story of all people that have arrived in this nation, but also to celebrate these histories that are truly oral. I mean, some of these grandmas have stories of, from 1,000 years back that have been passed down because there wasn't a written language.
Oh, wow.
So all of that's in their head, and their grandchildren's generation do not know the language.
What?
So the fall off from there, and then the kids that came over that speak both are like kind of the link that they're trying to preserve the language. So this is where this journey has taken me into this spot where I feel like I can actually do a societal good, and especially with our community and this incredible community of people, and just the stories are, I've never heard anything of the stories.
Oh my gosh.
It's just like and it's so prevalent now of the things, of people seeing what people have gone through to come here and be part, and what they've sacrificed to be part of here. But being a part of that project and to create those images, it's one of those things where it's like, I don't know if I'm ever going to do anything better.
Wow.
I mean, to this day, I don't know what to do next, really, because of that. But
is this, like, I can see the stories if I go to this website?
Yes.
And the photos and the stories?
Yes.
Oh, I would love to see that.
Absolutely.
This is amazing.
Yeah, if maybe you can put a link on it to it and
Absolutely.
something on here. But we're still trying to get transcriptions, because here's the thing. What the point was, we wanted the elders to be able to speak in their native language, right?
Yeah.
And to be able to say what they need to say the way that they can say it. And it was important that they were talking to us. So like that process was, we would have a person come in with them, daughter, son, whatever, would come in, just like one person, because these families can be huge, right?
Yeah.
And our studio is kind of small. So we wanted to have them talking directly to our team, my assistant and translator, and me.
Yeah.
And then the kid or niece or nephew or whoever brought them in could sit on the side and like help prompt them, because some of the ladies, they can get off track, and they're elders. It's like we had many in their 90s.
Wow.
It was a 65 and up.
Wow.
So the challenge there was to have them tell their stories without editing it.
Okay.
Because, in a lot of cases, you're not going to, we had some trouble. We wanted to have them, for the record, to be able to tell what actually happened as best that they could remember and recall for that historical purpose. Right? So that kind of leans into that editorial edge of the stuff that I shoot in that, because it was very important to make sure we preserve the language, how they said it, because as my assistant would say, it's like one word in Hmong is 2 paragraphs in English, and one word in English is 2 paragraphs in Hmong.
Oh my gosh.
These grandmas speak like it's poetry.
Wow.
So it's like trying to translate this is a task that even we're finding that their children couldn't do.
Oh my gosh.
Because, they know what they're saying, but it's like, how do I say this? And it's like, this is going to take me a month to translate because it's of the complexity. So that's why it's the challenge of preserving this has become just such a passion for me. It's something that our creative energy and their creative energy has created kind of this storytelling piece that hopefully will.
So you have the link translating, like the family members that know the language.
Some of them did. A lot of them were educators, so they were able to do that because they work in that environment and could transcribe and translate. That's the biggest thing, because the written language. Some of these people are older. Some of their children are older than the written language.
Wow.
So,
Wow.
and they're still, once again, a little history here, they're still trying to figure out the language, because there's all these dialects. They're trying to figure out the one universal written language, and they have meetings every year in
Wow.
Twin Cities here, where they come together and all the people from all over the world come, and they talk about what is the proper usage,
Yeah.
and how do you write it, what's the structure, how do we do this. So it's really that thing where it's a race against time.
Yeah.
And these stories that these elders have, they're just, especially in the women, they're not written down.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing's written down.
Mm-hmm.
So that project, I mean, it's something that it was literally designed for me.
Yeah.
From the aspect of being a kid, I mean, I always did anthropological type things interested me, archaeology, paleontology, all these things when I was a kid,
Yeah.
watching PBS, seeing all this stuff and having appreciation for previous cultures and stuff like that really leaned into this for me, where it's like a purpose
Yeah.
for something that I do, because we spend a lot of time looking for purpose in what we're doing in photography.
Right.
It's like, am I just running a business and am I taking pictures? Do I just hire some secondary photographers just to handle everything and then I'm just running the business?
Yeah.
Or am I going to try to be an artist and do everything myself and forego the capitalist side of this exercise and just
Yeah.
be that, where trying to find the place in between is hard, but
Mm-hmm.
then it really comes down to what's your why, right?
Yeah.
And for me, it's like to be able to create these portraits of these elders. In a lot of cases, they left everything there. They were running through the jungle, right,
Wow.
away, and they didn't have anything. Any images that they could even get were
Yeah.
gone. A lot of them had no history. It's like, so the cool part of this project was the elders would come in and would go, but from the shows, we would do, our first show was at Vandalia Tower, where my studio is, and so we had 16 by 20 mats framed that were on display of the 38, and that was their gift as being part of it, so they could have something to start their family legacy from there with the image that hopefully all the family members will be fighting over right?
Yeah.
Who gets to have it, right? But yeah, I mean, to be able to create something like that and to work with the amazing people at Minnesota Gijo, and to just have the honor of getting that grant was just unbelievable. It just kind of came out of nowhere to just kind of almost by fate in a way.
So cool.
And it's just created something that is like, when I look at what I'm doing next, I go, do I have to top this?
Yeah.
Because I don't know if I can at this point.
Right.
So I mean, there's a lot of soul searching that's going to be involved in that process, but
Yeah.
I think that was just a good thing we were able to do, and hopefully we can inspire some of the younger generation in that community too.
Absolutely.
And anybody like that. The whole point of I guess the whole point of this is when I would do speaking, because we did shows all over the state,
Yeah.
or all over the Twin Cities, and when I was offered the time to speak, it was like, what are you waiting for? Everybody's looking at this. Oh yeah, I would always wanted to do this with my mom.
Oh yeah.
What are
You can't
waiting
wait. You
for?
can't sit on that.
You have a camera in your pocket that you use every day and know how to use, that is ready to go. You can take it out and you can press record.
Yeah.
Go into the kitchen when grandma is talking, and this is not this is everybody.
Yeah.
Go and set up a Facebook group.
Yeah.
Invite all your friends all your relatives to it.
Mm-hmm.
Take your phone, pick it up, go into the kitchen while grandma's cooking the family meal.
Yeah.
Use that family meal, the scents, the actions, the repetitive to ask questions during that time. If they're
Yeah.
elderly, that will spur their brain. The smell of the food will instantly, as we're talking about the food podcast,
Yeah.
or the food naming, the food is the connective material to all these cultures, right?
Absolutely.
So if you get them to do that, start asking them those questions. How far back do you remember? What's the story of our great-grandparents? Do you know? Have them tell you. Record it. Upload it to the Facebook page. Say, check it out, everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody watch it. Have the aunts and uncles, have everybody watch it. Add information to it. Build that family history. It's never been easier.
Yet I feel like we're losing it.
And because we can have 1 billion pictures in our phone,
Yeah.
none of them have any value.
Exactly.
One is better than 1 billion.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's kind of the ethos of this, and of what I do is like, let's be able to preserve those memories. And I'm just as guilty as the next person, you know. It's
Totally.
like, you know, my mom's 88, you know.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, get the pictures,
Yeah.
set them in front of them, tell me about this, tell us
Yeah.
about this, have everybody see it.
Absolutely. When I started this, the first thing I did was, one of the first was my grandmother, because I knew she's getting older, and I just sat down with the microphone. I was like, let's talk.
Yeah.
Let's just capture stuff. And I'm so glad I have it,
Oh my
because she
gosh.
passed away about a year, maybe a year later.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad I have that memory of
Yeah.
her, just capturing her laugh and the way she talks about what she did, you know.
Yeah.
So it's, we have the resources to do that now, do it.
And because
yeah.
it's so easy, it's second nature, and it's just not important. I mean, it's so easy, just like anything else. I mean, you can, if there's no scarcity involved, people don't have action towards it.
Isn't that funny?
I can do this at any time I want, so I'm just gonna push it off. I can do it anytime. Instead of, okay, we're gonna do this on this day.
Yeah.
Everybody's gonna show up.
Yeah.
And we're gonna do it because this is the last time we're gonna be able to do it.
Yeah.
That scarcity motive is super important in this type of stuff, because, you know, my supervisor would say,
Yeah.
from a mentorship standpoint, she would say, someday somebody's going to be looking for an image of you.
Yeah.
What are they going to find?
Oh yeah. I love that.
I mean, it's everything that we do.
Yeah.
And to look at that, look at what we do as an important. I think back. There's an image of my great grandfather, I believe, that, you know, he had 2 changes of clothes. He had a suit and he had his work clothes.
Yeah.
And when they came here from Bavaria, they chucked him in the middle of Howard Lake. And here's a horse that's almost dead
Oh my gosh.
on a farm that's coming into winter,
Yeah.
and they have nothing.
Wow.
And he has one photograph
Wow.
that he probably saved up for. He's got this thing. There's one suit, and there's in a studio he probably saved for a year to be able to do that, and
Oh my
has
gosh.
one picture that we have.
That's
And
so
it's
wild.
like these sorts of things have such a meaning and have so much, you know. I'm not woo-woo in any way, but there's
Yeah.
a certain, when it comes to that chemical process of capturing photons coming in, right?
Yeah.
You know, and a chemical reaction on film and on paper
Oh, I
to
love
create
it.
this thing. To me, it's like there is a connection there
Yeah.
to the past that in the digital area it's just
I
just
know.
doesn't exist.
I know. I get so excited when you say that, because I always tell people like I love film because it's like light hits silver that creates an image, and then you process it, and it's just like this whole thing, and it's exciting to think about and how it works. But then you think about digital, and it's like, oh, it's not the same. It's just
No,
not
yeah.
the same.
Well, I'll just adjust something. Let's move
Yeah.
some sliders on that. I mean, and it's like, yeah, I mean, you're right. It's not the same.
Yeah, it's not.
But I think that whole piece of that is super important to people. And when you're looking at these historical images, and you know, the best time to do it was 25 years ago. The second best time to do it is right now.
Yeah.
And that adage carries through for so much, right?
Yeah.
And for this, it's no time like the present. Please
Yeah.
take pictures. That means, you know,
That
take
I mean,
pictures with intention
Yeah.
when you can. Have, you know, and if you need advice from a photographer, you can ask them. But there's a sense of community here that in the Twin Cities, it's kind of weird. Sometimes it's like the community is super strong and super built. Sometimes it's like super
Yeah.
fractionated, and nobody will share and nobody will talk. And some groups will do this and some won't, and all this stuff. That's kind of ubiquitous across all of the photographers in the world.
Yeah.
But we're in a situation here with there's 4.5 million people in our circle.
Yeah.
I'm not worried about losing customers to somebody,
Right. Yeah.
like for senior photos.
Yeah.
How many kids are graduating every day?
Yeah, so
You
many.
know, or every year?
Yeah.
I mean, there ain't enough photographers.
Yeah.
But to be able to share and to be able to rebuild what photography stands for and what it means in the modern world,
Mm-hmm.
there's amazing talent here in town. I mean, I'm just
Yeah.
blown away by all these people. I
Yeah.
look up to so many people, and it's in what they're doing, and I'm just going, oh my gosh, I wish I was 30 years younger, so I had more time to
Yeah.
develop the skills
Yeah.
necessary to do these things. But you know, it's the importance of capturing those photographs of the people you love, and to be able to treasure those and display those and to pass those down
Yeah.
is kind of a lost art. But I think the second they're gone, you're going,
Yeah.
regret,
Yeah.
total regret.
Yeah.
And I've been in situations where I've had to photograph people, in the end stages of their lives, and
Yeah.
for their families, and that for my friends and stuff. And
Yeah.
it's super hard. It's super hard. It takes a toll on us as
Mhm.
photographers as well, because we know the importance. But it's to look back now and be able to say, we did that, and they trusted me
Yeah.
with this.
Yeah.
I mean,
And
that's the biggest gift.
yeah, and I really hate to say this, but life is so short, and I've had more of my family photos go to Celebration of Lives than I even want.
Yeah.
Surprisingly, even right away, even like a 4-year-old, it was these things are horrifying,
Yeah.
and it's like photos are so important, and even just memories like that, and it's like when you're working with people in everyday life, it's like you're like, oh my gosh, life is short. It's
Mhm.
crazy when you put it in perspective of I felt like I just photographed their grandpa just yesterday, and now they're gone, and
Yeah.
and it's it's crazy. Yeah.
Well, and even with that, when my father passed, you can only imagine how many images,
Yeah.
as somebody who actually worked in film coatings at 3M. So
Yeah.
it's like he had unlimited supply of film, of slide film, of every type, every camera, everything, right?
Yeah.
When he passed, it was like, well, what are we going to do? We have
Yeah.
30 photo books. We have all of this stuff. And I said, I'm not going to go through all this,
Yeah.
because it's just not, I can't do it. We're going to take our favorite photo of each one of us
Yeah.
with him. And the thing that was super hard for me was that my dad did the photography the first 35 years of my life, and then I did it, and there's a handful of us together. A handful.
Yeah.
But we have millions of photos. So
So it's you don't forget yourself. Whoever's taking the photos.
it's just like underlying the fact of how important this stuff is. It's
Yeah.
so we had a couple small ones, but I printed up, scanned, I do all that stuff too, scanning and repair
Yeah.
and all that stuff. So we had 4 main photos
Wow.
at his funeral, because we could have had a million.
Yeah.
And it's like I would rather distill it down to one,
Yeah.
and say this is the one that represents my relationship with my father.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's hard.
It is. Yeah.
And when I think about that, there's just so much that you could have shown that just it just gets
Yeah.
flipping through.
Yeah. And no one has the time to flip, and it's like just the idea of so many photos, just like a few good ones.
Yeah.
And yeah.
I remember that one. I don't
Yeah.
remember any of the, like so few of the
Right.
other ones, but I remember that.
Yeah.
And that says it all.
And I don't mean to segue, but I want to talk about something that you said kind of in the beginning, where you kind of sit down, meditate, and take pictures of a landscape, and then you remember that moment. So I talked to somebody about this once, memory linked to photographs. And I feel like, for me, like a lot of times, like if I think back of like a child, like me being a child, and my parents are like, oh, this is when you did this thing. And I wouldn't know that unless I saw the photo, and would they remember if I didn't have a photo of it? So I always think of that as like a stamp in time, and the things that I take a picture of are the things that I remember because I see them visually.
Yeah.
And it's almost like kind of what you said before, is when you saw the picture of the landscape and you got a photo of it, you remembered that day, that moment, and maybe how you felt and where you were in life almost. And it's almost like a journal or a storytelling piece for people. So I don't know if you want to elaborate on that at all.
People don't remember what they look like, they remember how you made them feel.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
That's, and that's the funny thing, when people say, oh yeah, when you're, you remember back with your mom, or you remember back with your dad, and when you went and did this thing, and when you went to that.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, I remember emotions. I don't remember events.
Yeah, yeah.
And so I don't have good recall. When people ask me, well, tell the story about this loose
Is that interesting?
that I cobbled together of
Yeah.
other things and stuff. And that, to me, that's one of the reasons why photography is so important to me. Is
Yeah.
because, just as you said,
Makes you remember it
the
special.
memories that you were able to see, but you're seeing that through somebody else's eye,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So it's kind of a jaundiced type relationship to that, where it's like, okay, you might have caught me in a smile that I wasn't happy,
Yeah.
or I was super happy and it looks like I'm frowning.
Yeah.
And they said, you remember when you were all upset? Because that's what they're remembering, is
Yeah.
what they saw, and they look at the picture and said, oh, he was upset.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And it's like, no, I wasn't upset at all. This was the greatest day of my life. Right?
Yeah.
You just caught me in a weird face thing while I was talking or something.
Yeah.
It looks like I was angry.
So funny.
But no, and that's one of the things about how photography works.
Yeah.
Everybody, when you are able to work through an image and create an image that represents who they are, you're never in question of who they are.
Right.
They can look at it and say,
Yeah.
that person had a way about them of dealing with people, or that person was really strong and
Yeah.
had eyes to the prize type thing, or
Yeah.
those sort of things are so important when it comes to representation of who people are and or who they are at that space and time. And that's one of the things that I really try to lean into, is like, how do we capture an image that says where they are? I'll just tell a quick little story. I had the opportunity to photograph someone that was, kind of going through transition.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Like gender
young-
transition?
Yes,
Okay.
and a young person that they were going to have their senior photos taken, and apparently, if I recall, if I got the story as I understand, the photographer that they were working for before no longer wanted to photograph them because of the situation.
Oh. Okay. Very, yeah.
So they were already feeling incredibly, just, you can imagine.
Rejected?
Oh my God, you
Yeah.
can only imagine how they felt.
Yeah.
Right? And so they came to me, and it's like, when they came in, I could tell, I just got the vibe of, oh my God, it's about to break.
Yeah.
Because I don't know how this photographer is going to treat me. I don't know how the challenges will be. I don't know how any of this is going to work out. They were already feeling so uncomfortable in their skin. And it's just like, come in and sit down on the floor with me. So we just sat on the floor and had this beautiful light coming in just in the window. Because I shoot a lot of, now I shoot, once again, I shoot natural light when I can, because I just want it to be real, right?
Yes.
And, I'm just sitting there, like I said, I'll just press the button, and pretend that, just so they don't get bothered by the clicking.
Yeah,
I hear the
yeah.
click,
I'll turn my mic off.
Yeah, and people hear the clicking and they just go, oh my gosh, this is super hard. And so we went through it, and I just said, let's just sit here and talk. I'll just, guide you. You don't have to know anything when you come into my studio. All you have to do is show up as you are, and we'll do it. If you want to be glammed up, we'll do it. If you want to be sweatpants, whatever you want to be photographed, is what we do. So, they came in and sat on the ground, and I just sat down on their necks and just started shooting, and aimed the camera at them once and took the picture and looked at the back of it and went, leaned forward and looked, and the absolute look of release and joy and seeing, it was it. So it was one of the coolest shoots we ever did, because totally it's like, let's try this. What do you want to try? And it's like, oh, I really want to do this because I think that this represents what. Let's do it.
Yeah.
So really free flowing and all that stuff, and it's just one of my favorite shoots, because just seeing, and then their mom came in, because she was out doing some other stuff, and she came in and saw one of the images on the thing, and just kind of the waterworks started.
Yeah.
Right? So it's like that type of thing where you're just in those situations where it's like you feel like as an artist you can make a difference for people, and it's just one of the things that
I love that.
Hot.
Hello, hot. Mike is hot. Okay. Let me. All right. So I'm just gonna record. So hi, we did it. We did it through the crazy 1-year-old. We've had a little nap going on.
Yep.
So thank you, Richard, for coming and talking. It's really refreshing to chat with you about photography on an artist level, and just someone who's really passionate about the craft. And I love your work. When I was at the studio, I really love the colors, and I'm excited about seeing more and doing more with you.
Sure, absolutely.
So I want to ask you, I want to finish with 2 things. I wanted to say this at the end. I worked with some younger photographers, and I handed them my camera once in a project, and they looked at me and said,
and said that?
How do you, I was like, yes, that's what they said. They handed me the camera and they go, I'm sorry, but how do you take a picture? And I said, what do you mean?
Yeah.
They're like, well, I don't see anything. And I'm like, well, you look through the hole and you snap a photo. Like, everything's set up for this. And I thought that was so funny. I was like, oh my gosh, the new photographers don't even know how to not use the back viewfinder. Yeah. I'm like, oh my gosh.
I can only look through the viewfinder.
Me too. I don't even like know anything else. I'm like, cameras are universal. You look through the hole and it's on the right. And I know every time someone I hand someone a camera to, and they're like, how do I take a picture? I'm like,
Yeah.
the same way you take a picture since the beginning.
And they have
It's
no idea.
always
What's the
same.
beginning? All the way back
Yeah.
to iPhone
Right hand button.
10? Or
Yeah, right hand button and put your eye through the hole. It's the
Yeah.
same thing. So anyways, I thought that was hilarious. And I also had to realize how am I that old that now I'm like cringing where I'm like, you don't know how to, like, you get money to do this
Yeah.
and yet you don't know how to take a proper photo, just
Yeah.
look through the hole. Anyways, I had to say that, it's hilarious.
Exactly.
Because I tried to explain it to like my kids, but they're like my stepkids, and they're kind of like, I don't understand your passion
Yeah.
about this topic.
It's born and bred in the dark room.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So top 3 favorite foods. And you're Minnesotan. Do you have a Minnesotan food that you love?
No. No. There's much to be said about my dislike of certain foods.
Oh, okay.
But I also have tons of food allergies
Oh,
to ad nauseum.
okay,
So,
okay.
like, my favorite foods of all time, punch pizza bruni.
Ooh. Wait.
Favorite food, right there.
You said bruni. What is
Yeah.
that?
That's onion, sausage, salami.
That sounds so good.
And garlic, but the problem is
Ooh.
I can't eat wheat or dairy anymore either.
No.
So it's like now I get the gluten-free crust with some sauce and meat, and it's like I just want cheese. I just
Yeah.
want it, but I can't. But the other things, street tacos are probably my second favorite, and the third,
Ooh, street tacos.
Smarties.
Smarties, like the candy.
Yes.
Stop.
Yes.
That's so funny.
OCD replacement, because what I do is I open that little wrapper. There's 15 Smarties in a wrapper. I eat by color,
Okay, you
2
count
at a
them?
time.
Oh my gosh, stop.
Well, I don't eat. I've done a lot to remove excess sugar from my diet, so
Okay.
I haven't had. But I have a pattern of how they're eaten and everything. So it's like
That's so
one of those
funny.
things. It's like one of those total stress
Hey,
type
hey.
things. But yeah, the Smarties are by far and away my favorite candy.
Sorry, I want to pause because I have stuff to say that he's having a meltdown because he won't let me open this nuts. He wants to eat these mixed nuts, but he can choke on them.
Yeah, exactly.
Honey, but this is what 1-year-olds meltdown over.
Yep.
Not being able to open a box of mixed nuts. Do you want to try one? Here, I'll bite it. Very small. Oh. I think that was a universal nut. It's supposed to be. Okay, you can chew it up. What do you think? It's like peanut butter, but hard.
You like peanut butter?
Who loves peanut butter?
Oh, out it goes.
Yeah, because that's what this is. You don't want that. Okay.
Chew that stuff.
So Smarties, that's so funny. I used to love those as a child. That were pretty good. But now I feel like I don't like candy as much because I'm so conscious about my teeth. You know.
Yeah.
But
I mean, it's like my candy addiction was off the charts.
yeah.
I mean, driving 3 o'clock in the morning to get gummy bears.
Oh, you're like a pregnant woman.
Oh my gosh. Pickles too. Sweet
Oh my
pickles.
gosh, you are a pregnant woman.
I
am. Richard Leonard Schultz.
Yes.
The empathetic for pregnant women. That's just what you are. Just empathetic for all the pregnant women out there. You walk by one, all of a sudden you're like, anyone want pickles?
Yeah, I've got some in the bag.
I mean, I literally, when I was pregnant, I made Jared go to the gas station in the middle of the night and try to find hot tamales, and they didn't have them. They don't have them at gas stations anymore. And so I didn't believe him, and I made him FaceTime me, and it was like midnight, and I made him FaceTime me, and there was none. I know, because that was I craved hot tamales when I was pregnant. Cinnamon candies.
Cinnamon candies, yes.
And then one time I realized I had a problem when I was like working, and I was having a really, constructive conversation with a client, and it was at an event, and 7 o'clock at night, and maybe 9, I don't know, it was late, and all of a sudden, I'm in this great conversation, an intrusive thought comes in, and I'm like, pickle chips would be nice right now. Like dill, pickle chips, maybe some sour cream, and I realized that she was still talking, and my brain was thinking about food, and I was like, I don't know what we're talking about anymore. And it just out of nowhere.
Totally steamrolled your
and then I on my drive home, I had to stop at the gas station and get a bunch of weird food, like pickled chips, sour cream. I think there's like one other thing, and I just sat my big pregnant self down, and so. But
I miss
pickles, you
it.
like pickles?
Yeah.
Pickled stuff, dill?
I think, well, I like sweet pickles, strangely enough.
That is strange.
But I think because I like relish and because I love Costco hot dogs.
Ooh,
Oh my
Costco.
gosh.
Oh, Costco hot dogs.
Oh, forget about it.
I haven't had one, but I heard they're so good.
Oh
They're
my
the
gosh,
best. I like
yes.
Costco pizza, but
Yeah. Well, and of course, because now because of the gluten, I can't eat with the. So I just have to eat
the
a hot
just
dog.
a hot dog.
So it's like yes, this is for my 3-year-old. No, it's for me.
It's for you. Oh, I know.
Yeah, it's one of those things, right?
That's no sugar, no gluten, no dairy, no nothing.
It's super hard because but that's not true. I mean, I still have sugar and stuff like that, but it's like excess candy.
Yeah, excess.
That excess candy is like gummy bears.
I love gummy bears though. Ugh. Those are just treats though. Those are just for
Well,
me,
that was like whole meals for me.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, it was like bad.
Oh wow. Oof. Yeah. What do you eat now for lunch?
Oh. Well, it's usually like gluten-free and dairy-free chicken strips and because that's all I can put into the air fryer.
Oh,
but
you can make gluten-free chicken strips? And
well, they
stuff?
have them at Costco.
Oh, Costco. Here, this is for Costco.
Everything.
Okay.
Yes. There's got absolutely.
So we've talked about Costco a few times. Okay, well, what do you put in your mouth? I'm trying to watch you, and I got distracted.
Yeah,
okay.
I think if it's not there, I don't need it. I think it's one of those deals. But once something I become dependent on is no longer there, then I'm in trouble.
Yep, I know that. All right, well, we could talk forever.
Yes.
And thank you so much for being on. This was so fun.
My pleasure. Thank you so much for all you do and bringing artists and businesses and everything together. Yeah. It's such a super cool endeavor that you're taking on, and it's something that's really needed as the art spaces that we have are minimizing as we speak. Yeah. Being able to have access to those things and build that community to put artists into the forefront is an incredible challenge and an amazing endeavor. So thank you for what you do.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that, because sometimes I was just telling Annalise, I do so much, and then I'm like, why am I doing this?
Yeah.
So thank you.
Yeah.
We appreciate it at least like 3 times a week, I think.
What?
So we have that conversation about 3 times a week.
Oh yeah. I go back and forth. I'm like, why am I doing this? I'm so tired. What am I doing? What are we doing? How do I? Yeah. So thank you. All right. We'll take some portraits of you now.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. Bye.